we're going to just start with understanding a little bit about your personal needs for boundaries. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? What?
Yeah, sure. Aside from the very personality disorder thing, I
Yeah.
think that there is an extension of that that's been a theme throughout my life of I don't necessarily overextend myself anymore, but I also sacrifice pieces of myself if I think it's going to hurt the other person's feelings because I was really like that. I think I was just trained for that. And so bred for it. So,
Can you give me an example of that when you sacrifice a part of yourself?
yeah, um, well, the real time example is that I split up with my ex and she continues to be very cuddly. And I've said 3 or 4 times no, but I don't say no in the moment. Like I say no much later, and then somehow it doesn't translate because I can't get it out of my throat in the moment. Like I can't open my mouth. And that's typical of like a lot of things where I just, like I can't speak in that moment. I just have a very old thing kick in.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great that you're aware of that. Are you aware of it in the moment that that's what's happening, or is it
Oh yeah.
later that you realize in the
No,
moment?
no, I'm aware in the moment and
Okay.
then go to like very passive aggressive strategies like being very visibly frozen, but that's not productive.
Okay. And you're aware of that too, which is also amazing that you go into those. So let's just to follow the exercise, let's practice saying no in these sort of exaggerated ways. And then if you wanted to, we could work with your ability to verbalize no in a healthy way as the precious thing you want to protect if you wanted to, or it could be
Yeah.
something else you want to protect. But
No, no,
I
no.
wanted, okay, I wanted to just show everyone that our ability to speak or to remove ourselves from a situation, any taking of action can be the thing we are prioritizing. I don't know what we would call that, but our voice or whatever you would like to call it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to point out as a teaching to everybody here that in this conversation with Amba, she shared that her way of needing more boundaries was that she gives a part of herself to the other person, and then she also shared at the level of experience what that is like. So that's different than the examples here, but it's also very clear, and I asked for it to be tied to a specific person and relationship so I would understand it better. So you always want to get closer to what's going on for the person you're working with. Um, so let's look at how how do you, when you do say no, whether it's to your ex or to someone at work or another person in your life, how do you tend to feel about saying no?
Um, I'm not good with it. I mean, I do it sometimes, but somebody says, "Can you do something right now?" I'm pretty good at saying, "No, I can't right now." But if somebody says, "I'm really upset, I need to talk to you right now," like then I'm like, come right in, never mind what I'm doing, which in some cases is appropriate, but I think that it's not always appropriate, and I can't make that second part happen. When I'm like, "I will talk to you. I can't do it now. I can do it later." Like I'm not. I just say yes. That's my first response.
And then what's your feeling after you say yes?
I'm disappointed in myself,
Okay.
and I'm also anxious about what I'm not doing that
Okay.
I wanted to do that was important to me.
Okay.
But
So
most of the time, I
that's
get disappointed in myself.
Okay. And so right now, and like in your most kind way you would be with someone else, can you offer yourself some kindness about that disappointment or that anxiety about what you're not doing? Just so, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, like my hand goes to my
Yeah,
heart.
no,
It
no.
can be a
Yeah.
gesture, it can be a thought, just so you, because you notice something big there. So,
Okay.
and sometimes it's just a deep breath with that. So, and it sounds to me that when it's an emotional need, that's when your knee-jerk reaction is, I will give,
Mhm. Mhm.
even if I'm giving away time or focus or energy that I really would like to put somewhere else.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. And so let's just imagine if you were to say no, a healthy no as a boundary in that moment when they're asking. I'm going to make it more exaggerated. So I'm going to play with this here. What would your healthy no, though? What would be the qualities that would come in to support your healthy no
Um,
or emotions?
oh, I think compassion. Um,
For you too, compassion for yourself.
that's my new theme that I'm working on, but thank you. Not as good, not as good with it. Um, but also, if I'm doing a healthy no with someone in that situation, I would think that I was feeling comfortable with the fact that this is appropriate and they actually are going to be okay, and I can figure out if there is a time that will work. But
Great.
yeah,
Um, okay, I loved that phrase. I'll figure out if there's a time that will work. So
yeah.
how could that be verbalized? So you've got that self-compassion, and what would be a phrase you would use to verbalize to your person asking for this emotional support? Um, you're going to connect with them later. How would you put it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, um, I can't do this right now. I wish I could be available for you, but I can look at where we might carve out time later. Would that be okay with you? Would you work with that?
And what would happen? I love that, but I can look at when we can carve out time later. Um, how about you drop the question that they can then
Yeah.
say, no, that wouldn't be
I
okay.
saw myself go completely south right at the end there. I was like,
Yeah. Isn't that great to notice that? Let's just note, let's rejoice in noticing how we want to soften everything. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and that I totally understand why. But in this exercise, you're just going
Yes.
to experiment.
Well, and I
And then
don't
in
want
life,
to do that.
life can be an experiment too.
Yeah, I really don't want to tag that on the end. I
Right.
really don't want
Okay.
to. Like, this isn't, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the phrase was, I can't do this right now, but I can look at my day or my calendar. Boy, my writing is messy. And we can carve out a time later.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so okay, we're at work. You've got a busy day ahead, and I'm someone who's like on the same level as you, but boy, I had something come up with my partner, and I'm just gonna grab you and say, hey, I could really use someone to listen to me right now. Had kind of a big thing happen to Mark, and I just there's a lot I need to download.
I really wish I could do it right now. But I will look at when we can carve out time later.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you for carving out time later.
I'll get
Yeah,
back with you.
okay. Thank you. Yeah. Good
Oh my
job.
God, that was so hard. And then we're just playing. But I already was
I
like, oh
know,
my
but this
God,
is,
I'm fully here for you. Like,
yeah, when we play, we make it a reality and that it's good. It's good for me. So when you're being the coach in this role playing, allow your client to have that experience of that boundary being met in a healthy way. And I know that the book's a little different. I wanna also just for a moment here, but I see some of your teachers behind you on the wall, I'm guessing. I know you have a lot of resources. So let's just bring in a resource right now to you before we do it again.
okay.
Tell me who that resource is. So I kind of also, and I'll call in my resources to support
Yeah,
you
thanks.
in
It would be
creating.
through my meditation teacher.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Calling in your
She's
name.
great with boundaries, incidentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And I think I know who she is even. What is her name?
Gurmai.
Gurumai. Yeah, I absolutely know who she is. I'll have to, yeah, tell you a story later on.
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
never surprised when I hear that from someone
Yeah.
I connected with.
Okay. Okay. Great. And just letting that support, that invisible support, be really experienced wherever you need it the most. So you direct it to the part of you, whether it's your throat or your heart or your gut or your grounding or the space around you or behind you. And from there, when you're ready, just open your eyes. Hey, I know you're super busy, but would it be okay if we just pop out for a quick chat? Because, God, I don't know why, but my head is just exploding with ideas I want to tell you about.
I can't right now, but I will look at the calendar and figure out when we could carve out some time.
Thank you. That's really perfect because it's even better if we plan it out. Thank you.
Thank you for that positive reinforcement.
That is the healthy response to a boundary. That's something we also need to all get good at realizing. Sometimes, especially if one's more of an empath, it's not only the other person's dysfunction, it's our dysfunction too, that we create a pattern with people that they're rewarded for intruding on our time and energy. And so we are serving them too. They are maturing, they are learning these. Can you kind of sense that, Amba?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's an improvement because the way I did it before was I would close the door to the office, and then there was huge criticism about that, incidentally, um, because my staff were used to the other thing,
Yeah.
but also um, the work requires that the door be open. I couldn't say anything, so this is so much better than like a door that shouldn't be closed. Actually, it's supposed to be open for emergencies and stuff.
For emergencies, yeah. But it's interesting because people have hands, they can knock.
Yeah. It was the thing. I think it was because it was a change, but it was also
Uh-huh,
because I
uh-huh.
couldn't just say when they came to the door, I can't right now.
Right, right. And it's such a strength to be a caretaker and to be available to people. It's a huge strength. So it's even more difficult for someone who has really successfully embodied that role. It's more work for you and for the people you work with to now accept that there is more clarity of boundaries.
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
it wouldn't be hard if you had been a little bit difficult to reach.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go into protecting something precious. um and so this could be a project, a relationship, a time of day, of the week. it could come up in a session if there's a lot of procrastination of some kind. And in this situation, if you want to work with this, what would you call your ability to speak and be clear in that way?
Um, what would I call it? Like give it a name, you mean?
Like my voice,
Yeah, my
my
voice. I mean, I think,
authority, I don't know.
yeah, I think it's really, yeah, it's definitely protecting. I think that that clothes thing is protecting. Um, I think what I need to be protecting is me as the precious thing instead of like, I really do. I really do. I think that giving away parts of myself has proved to be a very ineffective way to live.
Okay. So you're protecting the yourself, the
Yes.
say that again, the precious parts of me.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Um, so let's just bring in now. Um, Actually, I'm going to ask you a few more questions to understand that just a little bit deeper. So that sense of self, as you tap into it right now, where do you go in the body? Is it in the throat? Is it other places?
I think it's really
Here.
like the whole area between my heart and my throat.
Okay. Okay. And can you ask that area to either show you in pictures or in words or feelings what it needs, what it wants?
Not to be given away all the time. My
Beautiful. Not
throat's
to
going
be
hoarse.
given
That's how
away.
close it is.
Yeah, not to be given away. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring in some helpers for that. So just imagining now any metaphors, images, people, it could be symbolic, that give you that support to not give yourself away. And just opening up all your senses, take some deep breaths and allow anything to show up. And let me know what comes.
Um, Actually, what came was a white rose, which is a big symbol for
Mm,
protection for me.
yeah. Okay. So the white rose is here. So just letting yourself breathe and be with that white rose. And now let's imagine this you that is so precious and needs to be taken care of and given all the time, with all the healthy boundaries and ways of speaking, protecting, so that you can really nurture yourself, your most authentic truth, and your body and your feelings and your time and energy. And just for a moment now, open up all your senses just to perceiving this self that is asking for this healthy, healthy sense of empowerment so that it can be protected. Just take in that self that is so precious. And notice also ways in which taking care of yourself and being able to give voice to your needs, to your boundaries, how that will serve not only you, but all the people you're an example for. Just notice how that might affect the bigger picture other people, your future self, effects for your body, for all the ways that you are in the world. Just really honoring the preciousness of that, of the gift that you are, and feeling the white rose there as a helper. Is there any resistance or new resources that come in, or just tell me what you're sensing?
Um, well, when you said um, something and you were like, whatever part you're protecting before you said the rest, the thing that came up was that I was protecting the healer, which is literally something that would never occur to me. That was the thing I was protecting.
Yeah.
And then um, and then I thought, oh, that actually makes so much sense, but I never knew that. I didn't know that.
That's beautiful. You're protecting the healer. So now let's just imagine boundary protectors all around you, and you feel them the way you feel them. They might take certain identities, they might be plants or animals or elements, shapes, colors, emotions, values, and they might feel very close in to the body. They might feel around you physically, or it might just be in some way that they surround the healer within you. And just allow these protectors to give to you and hold these boundaries for you so it's easy. They do the work. And from there, they're doing the work, however they do it. And from there, just imagine that time when you need to set a boundary and say no. And just imagine that they are there for you, supporting you, and you easily do it. Ease, 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 relaxation. And just notice what in the body wants to relax as it's easy to set a boundary. And maybe you want to give a deep breath to that area. Call in the protectors more if you wish, or the white rose, so that the healer can easily be protected in a relaxed way. And there might even be a kind of nectar or soothing tonic that you bring in to any parts of the body that need it. And just let me know how that is for you.
Yeah, that was. So when you said that, I asked, "Is there an animal medicine?" Um, and yeah, this dove showed up, and I was like, "That's so strange. That's not like a fierce thing."
Yeah.
But it felt like it was because I could be peaceful. It's okay to be peaceful with this.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And with peace, I'm guessing comes relaxing. And then the throat can relax and more clearly vocalize. Yeah. I'm also going to just take it a step further, and in protection of the healer, let's ask also for any movements that feel intrinsic and easy as a form of showing yourself the way you protect, if there's any movements.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes our positions, our body just are great messengers for what will give us that peaceful protection when we need it. And then just in that position, just notice the no flowing easily if you wish to say no, or not now, or all the variations of no.
No, not now. I
This
can't,
doesn't work.
don't want to write this minute.
Yeah.
Um,
Please don't
I'm
touch me.
sorry, that's impossible.
Yeah. Great. I'm sorry. That's impossible. And try one about touch too.
Yeah,
I'm not open to touch right now.
I'm not open to touch right now. I'm not comfortable right now with this.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And just letting the protectors nurture you and support the healer know that you are protecting what is precious. And let that feeling of that protection know that it's not only for you, this is in service at the soul level. Okay. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Yeah. A little heat. I wish I could give you a little fan.
That was powerful. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you did it. So what's really cool about this strategy is that in my body, I just feel joyful participation in your process. Thank you for allowing that. And when do you think in your day it would be good to do just that practice for a minute or so? Would it be good every day or before you see your ex or at work at a certain time?
I think lunchtime's a good trigger time to remember to do it. I'm not too close to it I'm not too close to it then. I'm at work, so it's an easy time to practice.
Okay, great. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe if you're going to be around people with that difficult personality type, you might do some preparation with that also. We're working with no, but it can be a protection. You've got your protector team.
Yeah.
And your symbol, it might be even nice to have a white rose on your desk.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Even just an image of a white rose.
Yeah. And I realized like nobody's going to think anything about it if I do this. It's like I can actually do this literally
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
without anybody thinking too much about it.
That's right. Yeah. They'll think, wow, she's so nice to herself. Nice model, Oh, thank you. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And so, we in that session demo, we wrapped in about that particular relationship because that was what the client brought up when that happens. When I asked, when does this happen? It started general and then we found a specific. So it might be the same when you're doing this session, that through the process, you're applying that to that time with that person. Or it might be different, that your client in this practice has a specific project, like completing their course or remodeling the kitchen or something else, writing a book, whatever it is, that's their project that they are creating the boundary around. Or it might be more relational. And if it is more relational, then it's that what Amba really showed us, that it was a protection of a part of self that became more and more clear, that it was the healer. So, we let things evolve in the coaching because that's how this is. The person gets a little seed of what's needed, and then that seed sprouts and grows and becomes more clear. And we don't ever really know how that will evolve. And that's why it's important that we go with it as the coach. We don't try to go back to the beginning of what they said. We're going to go with the evolution of the need, that as the resources come in, the need clarifies and it might shift a little because things move quickly at this level.